I've played a lot of multiplayer in Attila, but I haven't played many quick battles. So I decided to try one, and I was not disappointed. This is a video in the Good, the Bad and the Ugly series, continued in Attila, where we see how shit quick battles can become. So, for my opponent, we have a total of... He is commanding the Huns, and he has a total of 13 horse archers and 4 steppe lancers. I have 6 dogs, 5 axes, 4 spears, 4 cavalry. So I wanted to go a bit light on the cavalry and try to use dogs against horse archers. They are not very useful because they can just get ridden down and killed very easily, but against an inattentive opponent they can be very useful. And they're also super cheap, they only cost 100. So I'm going to start here, test how sending my dogs out is going to work. They're going to start chasing away the Hunnic mounted bows here, and although they are attacking them in the rear, they are going to take a long time killing any. And chasing them a bit away with my Nordic horse lords, I wanted to see if I could stop them with my dogs and then rush in the Nordic horse lords. Didn't really work, took a lot of casualties. Sending in the dogs from down the hill to see if that is more effective. And I am starting to inflict some casualties here, making the Hunnic mounted bows run around. So the idea is basically to use the dogs to make the Hunnic horse archers run a lot, and then hopefully I'll be able to catch them with my own cavalry. But as you can see, they have a hard time killing cavalry, and the cavalry can just run straight through them and not take many casualties, even though they are really shitty cavalry. So the use of these dogs is going to be marginal at best. I'm only getting around 10 kills here, which is not nearly enough. But what I've decided to try now is I'll just use the remaining handlers to push up the horse archers and make them waste a bit of ammunition, because obviously you can see the ammunition of the enemy now. I'm going to keep the these guys close, so any fire at will is going to be fired at my dogs instead of my horses. Managed to take out quite a few horse archers with javelins from my horse lords. And over here as well, these warhound units just being annoying and actually getting some kills on the Hunnic mounted bows. This is mainly for baiting ammunition though, and to make these Hunnic mounted bows run around. I'm going to adopt the defensive position on the ridge here, because I am completely outmatched in terms of cavalry. Finally a war dog being useful in taking out these Hunnic mounted bows. And Hunnic mounted bows have a very high amount of melee damage. They are decent in melee. They will die fast, but they are, for horse archers, they are pretty good in melee. Here my dogs actually managed to take out the unit of horse archers. I'm just going to use this one unit, try the spear wall to see how many arrows it can tank. Getting into some horse archers here with my Nordic horse lords, but they're just too slow. I tried using fast charge on my general to get into them, since these guys are winded, but my guys are getting shot to pieces, and this is not what you want to do against the Huns. So these guys are being useful actually in baiting arrow fire.
The men are broken and are fleeing.
Just got wrecked, but that also caused friendly fire to the Hunnic bows, so these war dog units are being super annoying for my opponent. 42 kills now, pretty nice, getting close to being cost effective here. And it stops these Hunnic mounted bows from firing as well. So the handlers are proving to be fairly useful. I'll just fast forward in the extended skirmishing that's going to take place. Rushing up my spears to try to push away the horse archers a bit. Here I'm taking more fire. These elite Nordic spears are fine. So many volleys on the steppe mounted bows. I should really conserve my spearmen, but I don't want to take any fire on these royal huscarls. So firing into the shielded side is my opponent, moving up to get a bit of forest cover here. I don't have an army that is well equipped to deal with a horse archer spam,
Have been discovered.
but I wanted to try how well dogs can do, and they didn't do super well, but they've definitely been annoying. So here we see the Hunnic mounted bows charging into the elite Nordic spears, and they are actually doing a lot of damage to the elite Nordic spears. The elite Nordic spears have taken a lot of hit point damage, but I was surprised at how effective these horse archers were against my spears. They actually got a lot of kills there. Using the spears to screen away in the front here, I see my enemy is starting to run out of ammunition now. So it might be time to make a push soon. I'm just going to try to catch these horse archers by going in different directions and sort of hammer them in. I am doing damage with my javelins against the horse archers, which is good. Barely getting into them here, but I'm not able to catch them as well as I'd like to. Managed to catch this unit though. They are super fast units. And here comes the main engagement. My opponent moved a bit too close, so I'm rushing down from my hill, sending my Nordic horse lords in, doing a lot of damage to these Hunnic mounted bows, doing a lot of damage to the step lancers, and this is actually looking quite good for me now. I can rush after all these units. They don't have a lot of ammunition left. I still have a lot of cavalry left.
The enemy refuses to admit defeat. Their unit has rallied.
So did you hear what the announcer said there? The enemy refuses to admit defeat. I'm going to catch these units one by one. But an opponent that brings 13 horse archers is probably going to be the opponent that is going to run away for an extended period of time to avoid a defeat. So these units are being chased away out of ammo. These units are being chased away, wavering due to army losses. But the general is probably going to be fine with this 66 morale, so I need to catch him. I can't stop and rest because that is going to allow my opponent to get too far ahead of me, even when he is exhausted. So these units routing off the field. These units over here are about to start routing. Getting into these guys is probably going to route them off the field pretty quickly. I managed to get into the Hunnic warlord, but my opponent keeps spam clicking them away from the engagement. And he's going to avoid a defeat simply by virtue of running away like a bitch. So this is why I don't like quick battles. People can just do this and at no penalty. So the war dogs ended up getting some nice kills. They are very cheap units. The horse lords did a reasonable job. These horse archers were microed horribly by my opponent, and so were his step lancers. He had no business not defeating my army with what he brought. If he simply would have surrounded me, fired on me from all sides, used heavy shot, used his abilities, then it would have been a very easy GG for my opponent. But instead he chose to play like a bitch, working Getrix, what the hell, and avoided a defeat by running away with his general. And there is nothing in quick battles stopping people from doing this, which is absolutely horrible, and why I don't like playing quick battles. Strength and honor.